7:33, we're back into session. Item one, to discuss and consider and take action on the city manager. What's the wishes of the body?
I'll make a motion to enter into a new contract for Mr. West for a term of 5 years and all the terms of the current contract and raise 2 years service.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 5-0. Item number two, under that, at this time, we are not gonna take action. Okay, under city administrative monthly reports, city council to hear and act if necessary on the following items. First one being city manager's report.
First off, I would like to mention what happened yesterday at our Oakton ISD. We had a possible gunshot being fired in the vicinity, and thankfully it wasn't on the school campus. It was somewhere in town, but we don't have a clue where it's at. But your chief left here, he got the call, I was in his office, got the call, and we was there in 1 minute. You got your SRO officer, he was there like a mother hen was, gathering up chicks. And then the chief told me to go back over into the Brandon Street neighborhood and look. And so I turned around to get in my pickup, and there was Sheriff John Wayne Valdez. I mean, there was probably 5 or 6 Rusk County Tahoes right there looking at me. You had Sheriff Larry Smith, Smith County. I mean, I wasn't out of the pickup a minute. And you got Rusk County and Smith County. You got New London Police Chief. You got our police officer. We had probably 12 or 15 patrol units in Overton, Texas, within 5 minutes, easily within 5 minutes. And it was just going around, looking, just surveying the area. It was unbelievable. I seen Sheriff Larry Smith today and mentioned it to him, and I said, I can't believe the response time that Overton had. And he said, I'm gonna tell you something. He said, that's due to y'all changing the dispatch, the way you did. He said, because when it goes out to everybody. And there was other law enforcement agencies in route, but, it just, they figured it out and didn't, everything was called off. But in that amount of time, within 5 minutes, you had 10 to 15 patrol units in the city limits of Oakland, just like that. That is unheard of. Unbelievable. So, definitely remember that when you see our chief of police over at New London or over at our Sheriff Larry Smith, Sheriff John Wayne Valdez. Hats off to them. That was pretty good. We've had several leaks as always. We have fixed 2 leaks on the state highway on East Henderson in front of Overton ISD there. These leaks are pretty expensive. I don't tell you about every leak we have, but man, some of these leaks, it's, when you see a leak that costs $20,000, it kind of rings your bell just a little bit. So we had 2 of them that we fixed. Some of them, we've used John Wright Construction. Sometimes he'll tell you, hey, it's gonna cost, probably around $28,000 to fix that. Might come in at $18,000, or it might come in at $32,000 because you simply do not know what's underground, what you're gonna get into. We had when I come to work here, 2021, there was an 8-inch sewer leak going into a creek. It was repaired by the time I come to work here, and, I got to deal with the leftovers, and that was, TCEQ. They showed up and wanted to visit, so I met them up here at the city hall. And he told me, he said, you know, I've got to write you up, send it to Austin. There will be a fine, but I had no clue what the fine would be. Austin sets that rate. Well, last month we know what that rate is. It was, $66,875. In visiting with Sean with TCEQ, he also told me that after we had worked together, he said, I feel like you're probably gonna present the information I need, and that, he said, whenever y'all do get that fine, don't pay it right off, that you can visit with TCEQ, and some of that money can go towards your infrastructure, so that you can repair your infrastructure. So, me and the mayor and Connie, was in a meeting, it was on a phone conference meeting, and I asked that question. I said, is there any way we can, get some of that fine to go towards some of the projects that we've already done, and some of the future projects that we're gonna do? And the lady said, I don't see where we would have a problem with that, but we need to wait till your officer gets back. Our officer was out. And she said, in the meantime, if y'all can, get pictures that y'all have, get any invoices that was from contractors, and send it to us. We have done that, and we haven't heard any response back from them yet. It's a slow wheel turning there. It might be 2 months, it might be 6 months. It took them 2 years to get us nearly 2 years. It took them 1.5 years to get us a fine. So we got that going. Hopefully that'll go in our favor. Lift pumps that has been replaced this month and last month is at the sewer plant. We had one go out. A&M lift station, we had one go out. Joe R. May, we had one go out. These cost anywhere from 15 to 30,000, and you can go up from there. Just depending on what you get into electrical wise and all that. So, some of this has already been paid for, some of it hasn't. So, we're making headway. There was a fire hydrant replaced, and I do not remember where that one was at. We have the material to replace a 2-inch water line on Mercer Street. We've got a rotten 2-inch steel line there, and it just keeps leaking, so we're gonna dig all that up and replace that. We've got 2 10-inch valves ready to install on our main 10-inch water line on 850 East. OMDD is paying for the valves. Council approved that. We have not got those installed yet, but that's to come in the future. We've got the water lines going throughout the park, so we've got new water lines that's replacing old steel lines in the Overton Park, and it's gonna be a 4-inch and a 2-inch. We're actually gonna loop the system together when we do this, and we'll have all new lines throughout the park. That'll be paid for by OEDC, which was approved by council. OEDC will spend up to $100,000 on that project. We're hoping to get that done somewhere around 75 to 85,000. So I'm hoping we come under that. I know there's more, but that's probably about all I have right now.
Police Department, right? No, you have somebody to introduce.
I do. Officer Gator on the phone, and Ashley on the phone. Right, we talked about that with the council mayor. Told y'all back in October, we sponsored Michael to guy to go over to Kilgore. We actually paid him to go. He graduated last Monday, right? So he's on board. He comes to us, after serving 20 years and retiring, 20 years in the United States Marine Corps, retired as a staff sergeant. We're elated to have him actually listen right as the new OPD family now. So he's got some training to do. As soon as we get him trained up, ready to go, he'll be out on the street by himself.
Welcome.
I'll save anything else for next month.
That it? Okay. You have the rest of the police department runs and so forth and, 911 calls in your packet. Public Works. Christus EMS.
He's not.
I didn't think I saw him. Nope. Volunteer Fire Department. Tim.
I will give a report for last month. Fire calls, we had 3 public utility calls, 3 calls listed as other. Medical emergencies, we had 8 first responders, 1 vehicle accident. Other calls, we had 7 false alarms, 37 and a half man hours responding, and 22 and a half man hours training. And then total number of runs within the Overton Fire District is 22. Total number of man hours, runs and training, 60. Total number of members on the department, 16. And to add to that, next week, engine 1 will be going to the shop for repairs. The hose in between the tank and the pump is severely leaking. There is a flapper check valve that is leaking bad on the pump, and the deck gun is froze. All of those will be getting repaired. The estimated cost is between $1,600 and $1,800, and that's a rough estimate. They don't really know what they'll find when they get in there.
That won't need council approval, and we definitely need that, so we're good with that. Hey, Tim, just to explain to the council, we have a guy that's going around painting the fire hydrants, and they look real good. He painted the one out here in front of City Hall, painting them red and throughout the neighborhoods, and it's a good gesture, and they look a lot better. But also there was one painted black, and I've learned something, and I understand that. But would you speak to the council on that so that we're all aware of it? And I'm gonna get with Steve too, the guy that's painting those, and let him know that, what's going on there.
Yes, the hydrants, they're usually color coded to flow rates. Black designates that it's inoperable, it won't open, it won't close, or it doesn't have any flow on it. Typically, the caps are painted different colors for different flow rates. That way, when we pull up, we know what kind of water we have available on that hydrant. There's the charts online you can get that we go by. They're readily available. It's just a Google search. But that's what it
Right.
designates is the flow rates. So,
It's,
the fire department really appreciates the time and effort that's going into painting the hydrants. We just ask if you run across a black one, please
right,
paint it black if you're gonna paint it, until it's repaired.
right. You never know where a fire's gonna be and where you're gonna need water at, so, and Overton's got its fair share of fire hydrants that do not work, but, when the Family Life Center caught on fire, we had a fire hydrant right there in the parking lot of First, in the back parking lot of First State Bank, or Texas Bank for us. And it would've been real good if we'd have had that fire hydrant on the corner by the Masonic Lodge, if it would've worked, but we didn't have that luxury. And, there's been several fire hydrants replaced in the last year and a half, and we plan on replacing some more. It's just, these are very expensive to replace. And we still need some throughout some of the other neighborhoods. I mean, because you can only drag so much hose, you know. But we're working on it.
That's pretty much it on my report.
Thank you,
Any
Tim.
questions or anything?
No question?
Y'all have, it's getting closer to summer months, do y'all have plenty of bottled water down there?
Yes.
They do now.
We have a good supply of bottled water. We're not in a shortage yet. Thank you.
I think they've got the cheapest bottled water down there right now.
Two or three pallets? No.
Municipal court? Catherine?
So just real quick, on the courts are right on track just for the month of, and you'll have that in your packet, for the month of April, or actually March. The court generated right over $17,000, just in citations and city ordinance, enforcing that in the city. And, our officers are doing a great job, just enforcing the law. People are coming in and taking care of it, and the notices are being sent out like they're supposed to, so, yeah, the court's doing well. That's about all I have. Y'all have any questions for me?
Thank you.
Yes.
Financial report. The financial report before you.
This may not be 100% correct, because we have not had internet all day long, so.
I'm just gonna hit the high points of what's in the packet and start with the bank statement, which, starting on three.
Connie, you might read, yeah.
Starting on 3/1/23, you had $990,078.47 in the bank. After a month of deposits and interest deposits and checks and payments that were made, your balance on 4/2 was $937,567.10. So we're still maintaining where we've been staying pretty roughly, keeping the bills paid. That does not reflect the sales tax that came in on April the 14th for $34,864.89. Your expense report is in there for approved expenses, but the dates on it is from 3/15 to 4/17, which is kind of off from the bank statement. But in that amount of time, you had an expense amount of $138,337.07, and we paid out $112,633.53 in bills. Any questions?
Do you have any questions? Okay,
That is enough. Thank you.
thank you.
I do.
Oh.
Michael Paul, you've been on the council a long time. When's the last time you've seen that much money in the general fund?
Never.
How long you been on the council?
I'm going on this 2 years will be 8 years after.
8 years.
Wow.
Yeah, in the future meetings, may to receive, leave for absence for any council members for the future meetings. Next regular meeting will be May 18th, 2023, but we are planning a special call meeting for next Tuesday.
April 25th,
Tuesday.
Huh?
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, that's what I said, next Tuesday, right?
Yes, April 25th.
Oh,
April 25th,
It will be 7 o'clock, right?
7 o'clock. And we do need 4 here for that, so definitely, so, okay. But those are next, any absence, especially from the rest of the regular call, I think that we have at least 4 for next Tuesday. Absence, okay. If not, I need one more motion.
Make the motion adjourned.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor, raise your right hand, and go. At,